Hey guys, trying something different today for this little vlog. So I got this idea, essentially at the beginning, or at the end of April, where I wanted to kind of do like a summary of all the major wrestling that we sat down and watched, because, you know, we like talking about wrestling.
We watch a lot of wrestling.
We do, mostly just AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I want to expand it out to, like, maybe if we watch an episode of Impact one week, or if we watch an episode of NWA or Ring of Honor, just like vary it up. But this first version of this is kind of just like the testing one, I guess. So it's all basically just AEW shows that we watched. I don't count the smaller YouTube shows like Elevation or Dark in this list.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mainly just main TV that we watched and the pay-per-views.
Do you have something against Taz?
No, but like that's a different kind of viewing experience when I'm kind of just like sitting on my phone and like watching and commenting on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of just like the main ones where like it's got a lot more people watching it.
So here's our opinion of AEW Dynamite for the month of May.
Essentially. So, we started with Blood and Guts. That was the first one that we watched, which I forget what day it was, but I'm pretty sure it was right at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
This one, for the matches that I wrote down, because I have a list, and I color-coded it, the matches I wrote down are the ones that kind of like stood out the most. I didn't really include promo segments, kind of just focused on the matches. Towards the end of this list, I kind of just add all the matches, but for the first one I have here for Blood and Guts, Cody versus QT, where Cody bleeds every single match. I think QT also bled in this match too, didn't he?
Are you ready for my opinion on this match?
What is it?
I do not remember any single Cody Rhodes match except for the one against Dustin. Because Cody's like not someone I really like. I wouldn't even say pay attention to. Like, his matches aren't memorable in my opinion.
You might get some flack for that.
I'm gonna get so much flack for that.
Then again, nowadays people are. There was a hashtag that was coming out after Double or Nothing of Triple H, because there's two separate sides to this. But the one that people were talking about more was that Cody was kind of already looking like the Triple H of AEW, because he was putting everyone. He's burying a lot of talent, and he keeps going over. Specifically, that's what everyone was saying after a Go-Go lost.
Yeah.
So.
No. I don't remember Cody matches, with the exceptions of his TNT title matches.
That's true.
And the one with his brother. Because I feel like Cody, like, winning, obviously, but still, like, introducing, like, different talents.
Yeah.
Is kind of like a strength of his. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he can win but still make the other person look good.
Yeah.
But like in the Cody versus QT feud, I don't care about it. Not paying attention to it.
So from what I remember, Cody won that match. I wrote down something next to this, and it says his ass is cracked, which was the famous Jim Ross line that he said.
Ah, yes.
Which, yeah, there was. I just, that's all I remember from that match. After that, we have the 4-way tag team elimination tournament, and this one set up SCU going up against the Young Bucks, which they did that one a week later. But
so this was like there's SCU,
there was Varsity Blondes, there was Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and
I feel like the Acclaimed. Yeah,
it was the Acclaimed.
Yeah,
and like at this point.
Oh yeah, that was the one where Max Caster like dissed Brian Pillman, right?
Yeah. So at this point, Max Caster's his raps are becoming like
they're getting so good.
really, really good. They're like must-see TV now. Like he rapped his entrance to the Casino Battle Royale and did a dig at Christian, where he's lost his edge, and we were just like, oh my god, he's getting really good at it. So yeah, nothing much really else to talk about. SCU won, which was, we were expecting that to happen. Then they floated the idea of Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy, because they had announced that Orange Cassidy and Pac were going to be fighting each other the next week, and whoever was going to win was going to face Kenny Omega. And this is when they started promoting this tension between Kenny and Orange Cassidy, and Kenny was like, yeah, you don't really belong in the main event scene, you shouldn't even be in this match, kind of shit. But like when they first announced that, I was like, oh my god, like I was not expecting this match at all.
It totally helps that we're orange mercs.
Oh yeah
Orange.
And then the main event, which everyone talks about, the Blood and Guts match itself.
Honestly, the match wasn't that bad.
The match was pretty good. The ending, I didn't even notice it until afterwards. Like, I had to go back and rewatch the clip to see what everyone was talking about after Jericho was thrown from the cage by MJF. The padding they had on the stage, it looked very, very... I think Excalibur said it was concrete.
Yeah. But
it was like you could tell right away that it was like plywood painted over with a metallic finish.
Yeah, that's what everyone was like upset about.
Yeah. And then when anybody tried to make that sort of criticism, there was a lot of people who just immediately came out and were like, you wanted to see Jericho, a 50-year-old man, fall off the top of a cage and like hit actual concrete? And everyone's like, no, that's not what we were saying at all. Like, we don't
like
see
if
that.
Excalibur just said he crashed onto the floor, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
But calling it concrete is like...
Also, the angle was probably not the best one.
Yeah.
They could have changed the angle if they shot that at. But yeah, all in all, Blood and Guts was a pretty good show that week, despite that ending. That ending was like, lackluster. The week afterwards, this is the regular AEW Dynamite, the show they had on the 12th of May. It started with Moxley versus Yuji Nagata for the New Japan Pro Wrestling US title. So
good.
So you've never seen a Yuji Nagata match before, right?
No, I haven't.
So what did you think of his style? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember, we have Fire Pro Wrestling, and that's the one that came out in 2017 with all the New Japan wrestlers. The story mode they have for that game, your coach is Yuji Nagata.
Ooh.
Like he intros you into the game.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, like Yuji Nagata's been with New Japan for over like 20 years at this point. He was with the company in the 90s. So he had quite a legacy. And then Moxley beat him on TV, and then there was a sign of respect that they showed at the end.
Oh my god, yes.
Which was really nice. So
that made me tear up a bit.
Yeah, Moxley has so much respect for him. So that was really nice to see. After that, we had the SCU versus Young Bucks match. That was the title match, where if SCU lost, they had to disband.
That match was emotionally painful.
Oh yeah, it kind of sucks because like there wasn't that much emphasis on the aftermath. After the Young Bucks won, they won the match, they retained. SCU had to break up, but then they kind of immediately cut away, and you didn't really get to see like the aftermath with Frankie and...
Yeah, to be fair though, like it went to commercial and like they can't control when the commercials are.
Yeah, the commercials are probably like one of the biggest issues that I have with the show right now because they will pop up frequently.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion where I'm just like, oh, because you see the same commercial over and over again.
Like specifically because we're in Canada, we get on TSN. Yeah. So it's like the same for commercials. It's annoying. But however, this match, I will say, as much as I'm like, Cody matches, blah blah blah. When it comes to the Bucks matches, I love watching Bucks matches. Not just because I love tag team wrestling, but because like they are so good at telling a story.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people. I don't know if they don't see that or if they choose not to see it because of the reputation that the Bucks have, that they're kind of just like guys who do a lot of moves. They do have storytelling in their matches.
Yeah, like I feel like the Bucks have the most storytelling out of like really any of the tag teams. Like they throw in all of these like little references to old tag teams and stuff and like old wrestling.
I think one of my favorite parts from that match was... Oh god, it was something that Frankie did specifically to taunt the Good Brothers on the outside. I forget what the move was though. Drawing a blank. I should have looked this up beforehand.
Good job.
Either way, it was a really good match, but SCU lost. They disbanded. After that match, Frankie was like, I'm going to take out like my revenge on pretty much all the members of the Elite. Then we had Orange Cassidy versus Pac, which was kind of... It was like a replay of like the first 10 minutes of the Revolution match. And then Kenny just said, fuck this, and caused the DQ.
Yeah, but that also happened because Orange was legitimately hurt.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. You know what the original finish was for that was supposed to be, right?
I don't remember.
It was supposed to be a count out.
Honestly, I feel like hitting the belt is probably a better idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like countouts.
Yeah.
At least this way, you can put the blame on Kenny, and it doesn't make Pac or Orange Cassidy look like idiots.
I feel like for a count out, like there's an appropriate time for it, like the Peter Avalon, Brandon Cutler storyline that was going on Dark a few months ago.
The point was that they were both losers.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So like in that situation, a count out like totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But like for someone like Orange Cassidy, who's like beaten Jericho twice, and Pac, who's fucking Pac, like...
Oh, Pac is a monster, and we'll discuss that later.
That man is flippy.
In Double or Nothing, because my god. And then at the end of the match, or at the end of the night, Kenny Omega causes the DQ against Orange Cassidy and Pac, which causes the match to be turned into a triple threat for Double or Nothing.
Which was always the intent, but... Yeah.
So, after that, we had the Darby Allin versus Miro TNT title match, which earlier in the night, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky threw Darby Allin down a set of stairs.
I think they did that like the previous week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that happened, but that was built into this match.
They did attack Sting early on in the night.
Yeah, that too.
But
this was a slaughter. Like, Darby had said, like he loved the way that he went out, because he went out fighting, and he got destroyed by Miro. And there's a moment towards the end of the match where Darby's got his back up on the rope, and Sting is like right out, like next to him. And he kind of looks over, and he's got this look on his face like, I'm done, man, I'm sorry. So him and Sting kind of like fist bump each other, like go out swinging, bro.
Yeah.
So Darby knew he was done at that point. It was a really, really good match. Miro came out as the TNT champion, and my god.
He looks good with that belt.
Yeah, he really looks good with
that
belt.
Guy has a heavyweight boxer physique to begin with, and then that belt looks like a boxing belt, so he just looks good. Not a fan of Miro's character because
abusive.
Yeah.
Abusive manipulator, essentially.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
But it's a good wrestler.
Then we got the episode on the 19th. So that episode started with Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal.
Ooh. What year is it?
Yeah, exactly. 2011. My god. Okay, so you have two veterans. One of them is literally one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet, according to literally everyone. And then the other one is a high flyer who's also morphed his style to that of extremely technical. And it doesn't matter the size of the individual. Christian wrestles like it's his last match every single match. It's ridiculous. He started with Kaz, with Kazarian. Did it with Matt Sydal. Did it with Hobbs. It was great, honestly.
He's really good at making other people look good. They're both really good at making other people look good, and then them together, it's just
literally
it's such a strong first match.
Just seeing the two of them fight, this is something that they would probably show to people in wrestling school of how you should properly work. It's that good. Then we got Moxley and Kingston versus the Acclaimed. What? She just wants us to be on the podcast. Oh my god.
There's one part where Max Caster's doing his rap, and Eddie Kingston starts laughing. So John Moxley just takes his head.
So Max is getting to this point where his raps, like I said before, are becoming must see because you want to see how he rips into whoever he's facing.
Yeah, when the Acclaimed first started in AEW, I was like, oh, whatever. And I'm just I I can't wait to see Max Caster's raps.
You know what I think it was? Which rap was the one that started turning? Like, everyone's opinion.
The Serpentico one? That was me personally.
I was gonna say the booty butt cheeks one, which was one that we saw on Dark.
Yeah.
But oh my god.
Yeah, I personally think like that first Serpentico one he did was the turning point.
Yeah.
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 If you didn't watch Dark, this was like months ago.
Yeah, but like
probably like 2 months ago. But the line was, it wasn't even John. It was John Cruz, not Serpentico. But it was, John Cruz, you're so ugly, you should wear a mask.
Oh my god. Caster was really good.
Yeah.
And then when Anthony Bowens got in the ring about to do his intro, hey, jab it! And then John Moxley just comes over and punches him in the face. Just get right to the match. So,
it was good.
It was good. NWA title match was after that. Serena Deeb versus Red Velvet. This was her first match back, right?
Yeah.
So this match was completely different from the other matches she's done because she started with a lot of heel tactics, which she didn't really do before. So I think she's doing a slow burn, like, heel turn. But my god, the NWA women's title is kind of becoming the secondary women's title on the show, which, like, I'm glad we get multiple women's title matches, multiple women's wrestling matches on the show.
Yeah.
Because my god, that's something they need to add more of.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a TNT problem.
It's absolutely a TNT problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serena Deeb retained, but Red Velvet put in a really good showing. And then we ended with Young Bucks versus Varsity Blondes. The first match on main TV where they had Julia Hart.
Yes, Julia! I love Julia!
Julia Hart was a recent graduate from Cody's wrestling school, the Nightmare Factory.
So she had also been to one other wrestling school, by the way.
Yeah.
I forget which one, but...
But, like, the reason why we are so, like, happy about this was because, like, 2 days prior, she was on... like a live stream, like a student showcase. And then I think it was like a week prior actually that happened. And then a week later, she gets a match on Dark where she's enhancement talent, and then she gets paired with Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, and then she's on TV with them like 2 days later. So
honestly, I did not care about the Varsity Blondes other than making gun jokes. Until Julia Hart.
Yeah, because
she just she makes it so much better. Like, just existing.
She completes it because they're supposed to be like jockey, collegiate athletes. Yeah. With like varsity jackets and all that.
And Julia Hart's like a 2-time cheerleading champion. So,
yeah, they literally go together so well. So that was good.
We are Team Julia.
But yeah, Young Bucks retained, but they gave a lot of shine to Brian Pillman. Ever since the Dark Side of the Ring documentary came out on his dad, the two-parter, Brian Pillman's been getting a lot more of a push. They've been building him up a lot more, and everyone's been being a lot more sympathetic to him. Yeah, which is really cool. Like, I'm glad that everyone is like actually giving him a lot more love, and because he didn't have that kind of stuff like -1 did when he was a kid. If you go and you watch the Dark Side of the Ring documentary, he talks about how there was like nobody really there to support him after his dad passed away. So just seeing like the love and support that he's getting now, it's kind of just like this is what he should have had when he was younger. Like, and it's just like, my God.
I'm still gonna make gun jokes though.
Oh yeah. Then we had the 28th of May. This was the go home episode for Double or Nothing. This one actually started to have a bigger capacity crowd. So it started with Darby Allin versus Cesar Bononi. And this was kind of just like the match to like... Darby Allin's kind of been one of the main draws in AEW. So this is the match, the opener to kind of like wake people up. And it's like, one of the big stars is here, Darby Allin. Just like...
and the third best ass in AEW. I have a ranking, and Cesar Bononi is third.
You want to talk about the boys?
wrestling fan, there's two things that you look at a lot: asses and nipples.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to learn them. You get to like critique them. And I'm quite the ass person myself.
Are you an ass man?
I'm not Billy Gunn. However, yeah, you look at a lot of asses, you look at a lot of nipples, and I've determined that the 3 best asses in AEW in order are first Sonny Kiss, second Ricky Starks, and third Cesar Bononi.
Very true. I mean, also we get Johnny, fucking, oh god, I'm forgetting his name right now, Sonny Kiss's partner, Joey Janela. We get him just essentially screaming at commentary, telling him how great Sonny's ass is every single week, so.
One day I'll like make a video of like a tier list of AEW asses in the men's division.
Well, we should do that like soon. Speaking of Joey Janela, though, the next match was Hangman versus Joey. I think it was just a regular match.
Yeah.
I forget. I think Hangman won, obviously.
Yeah.
But Joey's improved actually. He's kind of like there was times months back where when people would see Joey wrestling, even on Dark or something. They were like, oh, Joey sucks, he's not polished, he's like a really bad wrestler. And then those have kind of just like dissolved away recently, which is good. I don't know why he was getting the heat, because he's not that bad of a wrestler. He's pretty good.
Because people don't like Joey Janela because they're dumb. Because they think he's just like the dumb guy who like falls into fire. Yeah. Which is true, he is a dumb man who falls into fire.
He hasn't really had like a major match like that on TV.
Yeah.
So he's been kept away from the fire.
Yes.
So, but yeah, he's pretty good. He's good for this role as being like a good mid-card opponent.
You know what's another ranking video we should do?
What's that?
We should do a tier list of Hangman's little things. You know what I'm talking about?
That's like 2 years worth of.
We could do it for just like each year.
Oh my gosh. So after Hangman and Joey, there was Jade Cargill and Kylan King, where Jade finally has a manager now in Mark Sterling, who was the lawyer for MJF's political gimmick back when MJF was facing Jon Moxley. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know. The only other options for Jade Cargill when she was going to be signing with people were, they only mentioned Matt Hardy and Vicky Guerrero, which she had implied like both of those two are focusing on other people, like other people in their groups. I don't need anyone else. Like I can do this shit on my own. Like it's my way or the highway kind of shit. And then Mark Sterling was like, yeah, you do that. I'm just going to help you and I'm going to provide my services to you. So this was another kind of like match to build up Jade, essentially.
Yeah. Which
kind of sucks because I like Kylan King.
Yeah, I like Tall Mermaid Lady too, but they need to build up Goldberg.
Oh my gosh.
What promotion are we watching?
They need to build up Goldberg. So then we have Miro and Dante Martin, TNT title. Dante was in this match to die, which, yeah, Miro got a really good pop. Opening this, and Dante's wasn't as good, but like once he started moving, people were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you know he was a singles wrestler like before AEW, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he and his brother like they both did singles and tag team.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the match didn't really last that long. I think it only lasted like 5 minutes because once Miro caught him, he just like ended it. And then the show had. The last match was Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are amazing.
I love them. There was a lot of Canadians in that ring.
There were. 3 of the 4 were Canadians. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, it was clear that they were kind of being built up for Sting and Darby Allin. So they had to go over. But like... Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, I wish they had like a really good feud right now because like
there's 2 people like whenever I see them in the ring, I'm always like, God, they're good because I always forget how good they are.
Yeah.
And it's Colt Cabana and Evil Uno.
Yeah.
Like, Stu Grayson, I know what to expect with Stu Grayson.
Well, but, like, Stu Grayson is, like, you see some of the shit that he does, and he does things that, like, no other wrestler, like, out there can do. Like, you saw that, the one part, I'm pretty sure it was in this match, where, like, as soon as he gets in the ring, he, like, vaults over the top rope and grabs, I think it was Scorpio Sky into a DDT onto the floor, and then just, like, saunters off, like, staring at Ethan Page, just like, yeah, fuck you, I just did that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god. And then Evil Uno is hilarious. He's always hilarious. Especially, like, him and Colt Cabana. I had mentioned this before. They seem like 2/3 of a Three Stooges tag team because of how, like, vaudeville their humor is when they're in the ring together.
I love comedy wrestling.
Yeah. But, yeah, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page won. And then this show ended with the Inner Circle celebration, which it was kind of like a quick little go over of, like, Inner Circle building up their match, Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing against the Pinnacle, talking about, like, oh, if this is going to be the last time that we're all going to be out here together, let's go out with a bang. That's what made me think that Pinnacle was going to win, but you'll see later in Double or Nothing.
I genuinely did not remember that whole thing. But to be fair, like, every time there's an Inner Circle thing, I feel like it's the exact same thing over and over again.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, you're not really that much of a fan of Inner Circle.
I really want Santana and Ortiz to do their own thing and do LAX again with Diamante, because that would be amazing. I really like LAX.
But yeah, that's how the Go Home show went off, and that was only 2 days before Double or Nothing happened, which was last night.
That was also the day that Cheetah got the pretty belt.
Yes, it was.
They finally fixed the women's belt!
I forgot to add that, actually, to the list.
Yeah.
I didn't add a lot of promos. I added mostly the matches, except for, like, major things that caught my attention in promos.
Yeah, I think the women's belt is a major thing, because, like, the original women's belt was made for Riho. She's 5 feet tall, she's 98 pounds.
Yeah.
Tiny woman needs a tiny belt, but then, like...
They had that same belt for the next, like, year, and then in this last show from the 28th, they gave her a new belt, which was literally the exact same belt, scaled up a little bit with golden diamonds on it, but it looked so much better because the design was already solid.
Yeah, it's a nice design.
Yeah,
but
all they had to do was just make it bigger.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
now that's not Riho size. Now that it's, like, other women's size.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm surprised.
Maybe they'll bring back the smaller belt if Layla Hirsch gets the belt.
Oh my gosh. I don't think Layla Hirsch could work the smaller belt. I think she needs the bigger belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Layla Hirsch in, like, a TNT champion style belt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so there was that. That was all for the Go Home show. Then we had Double or Nothing. And for the most part, except for maybe just Anthony Ogogo and Cody Rhodes, every single match was like a knockout.
This was a solid pay-per-view. Like,
probably one of the best.
I've seen no complaints online other than the Anthony Ogogo match.
I've seen Wrestle Talk had a complaint about the Stadium Stampede. So that's the only people I've seen complain about Stadium Stampede. Other than that, it's been like
there was one thing in Stadium Stampede that I want to talk about.
Okay, so let's start with the buy-in. Serena Deeb versus Riho. These two work so fucking well together. Serena Deeb starting to do a lot more heelish things.
She slapped Riho.
Oh yeah, she milked that handshake for like a minute, and then just in the end, just smacks her right in the face. Just no, I'm not giving you a hint. But then Riho gives it back. So these two have counters for days. The only other people who can counter more was the main women's title later. My gosh. Serena Deeb, she won.
Yeah.
From what I remember. Serena Deeb retains. Amazing match to start. This is free. If you didn't buy the pay-per-view, but you wanted an idea of like the quality of matches, the buy-in is perfect for this because this is free on YouTube. I'd recommend anybody just go and watch that to see an amazing women's match. If you want to see more amazing women's matches, wait until later on this card. So the start of the show, we had Cage versus Page. Brian Cage coming out in
Terminator.
Yeah.
It was
like half Terminator. I'm like diagonally cutting down his body. This is like one whole arm was covered.
I feel like that was a reference to a specific thing in Terminator.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never watched Terminator.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time since I watched Terminator.
Yeah. So this match was pretty good, and this match started Cage's face turn, essentially. Because the night prior, like the show prior, when it was Hangman Page and Joey Janela, at the end of that match, Team Taz jumps Hangman.
As they always do.
Yeah, and Hangman basically gets in Cage's face and he's like, you need to leave Team Taz behind for this match, because like that's how you're gonna, like, you need to beat me without them. So there's no like asterisk over this win. So when Ricky Starks and Hook, you okay? Hook, when they both come down to kind of try and help out Brian Cage, Ricky Starks slides the FTW Championship into the ring for Brian to use against Hangman Page, and Brian kicks it away, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it that way, and then Hangman plants him and he wins. Hangman cheers a fan in the audience with their beer, which seems like a very millennial Stone Cold thing to do. And
I keep saying it, Gen X had Stone Cold Steve Austin, millennials have Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah? What's in between?
In between Gen X and millennials?
Yeah, it's Gen Y.
No.
So, wait, isn't there a Gen in between X and millennial?
There's early millennials. So there's Gen X, then there's early millennials, and then there's late millennials.
I don't
We're late millennials.
Okay. I don't
And
know
then it's Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know the
Anyways.
Gens. Point is, Page wins. Cage gets in Starks and Hook's face and then pushes them out of the way, and it's starting like a Team Taz breakup.
We're gonna know when, like, everyone turns face. When Taz goes, Hook, you good?
And then he says no.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had Moxley and Kingston versus Young Bucks. Their outfits reminded us of Splatoon. Are they kids? Are they squids? Because it was orange and blue.
With the dripping.
The default Splatoon colors.
Yeah, the crowd pop for Moxley's theme was
came
unbelievable.
And it was like just sudden at the same time, because they come out to Wild Thing. So as soon as it said Wild Thing, the entire crowd just boomed it out at once.
And it was full capacity crowd. So.
Yeah. So, my God. It took this show to remind me what we've been missing for like little over a year now.
Yeah, and this was Eddie Kingston's first pay-per-view with a crowd.
But like, just thinking back on like how empty all the wrestling felt beforehand, and now just seeing with the full crowd again.
Like, the crowd definitely, like, helps with the wrestling.
It immediately helps. Everything feels a lot more, like...
It's a lot more natural.
Yeah. Especially when people get to play off the crowd now.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that people haven't been able to play off the crowd as of late has, like... They've had to, like, almost relearn how to do things.
Yeah. Yeah,
so that, like, because there's nobody there, like, you can't get the crowd reaction, like, from the crowd. It has to be an online reaction.
And that's like, one of the major things that I think is the reason why we're not watching Impact or Ring of Honor yet, because their shows are both still doing it with no crowds. And it's noticeable. It's really noticeable.
Well, for Ring of Honor, it also doesn't help that we literally only watch it for one wrestler.
Danhausen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Moxley and Kingston versus Young Bucks. I thought for like a hot second that Mox and Kingston were going to win.
Yeah. Which would have been great. But...
Moxley did a jumping clothesline with a shoe. I don't know how he did that. Who hits with a shoe? Flashback to Britt Baker. But yeah, so Young Bucks retain. During the match, both Good Brothers were attempting to get involved. And then we finally saw Frankie come out and drop Carl Anderson.
That was great.
Yeah, so Eddie had already took out Gallows. So Gallows is his WWE name.
Doc Gallows.
Thank you. But yeah, so that was cool to see. But yeah, they couldn't pull out the W, and everyone's thinking that the 3 BT triggers at the end to Moxley's what's going to write him off TV, because the baby's going to be coming soon.
Yeah.
So I could see that as a way to write Moxley off TV. Then we have the Casino Battle Royale.
I love Battle Royales.
And what this is called is pulling the trigger on Jungle Boy, finally. Finally. So they structured this a lot better, because past Casino Battle Royales, they would throw all the groups of 5 out at the same time. So nobody had entrances. But in this one, they put, with the groups that they would introduce them one at a time. So everyone actually got to have a little bit of time to shine.
Also, we should note that there were 2 changes. QT Marshall was out with an injury, so he was replaced with Aaron Solo.
Yes.
And I forget who was replaced with Serpentico, because they were out with an injury.
Oh.
And Serpentico's ring entrance was probably my favorite, because Luther just literally threw him in the ring.
And Serpentico didn't even really want to be there. He was just like, no. And then Luther just immediately throws him in there. But
who did Serpentico replace?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I genuinely forget.
So Jungle Boy comes out, and the thing that we wanted to see
happened,
where everyone starts singing.
There were a few points throughout the Battle Royale where people started singing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Joker for the match was Leo Rush.
That was great.
When we could not, usually for some Battle Royales and stuff, we could probably come up with an idea of, some major, people who would absolutely have shoo-ins of, coming in through a Battle Royale like this. We had no idea for who the Joker was going to be.
So I was reading some stuff about Leo Rush.
Yeah.
So he's actually signed with New Japan, and he's supposed to be in Japan working. But because Japan's not really letting people in, can't really do anything.
Yep. So
he's kind of just hanging out with AEW and AAA right now. Just doing what he can.
That's what a lot of New Japan guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
Insert Rocky Romero. So with this Casino Battle Royale, the final...
Oh, I should say, thank you to the person on Reddit who originally said this. Leo Rush was wrestling in 60 frames per second.
Oh my gosh. This guy is just flipping all over the ring, flipping through the ropes, and just...
Yeah, everyone else is wrestling at 29.97 frames per second, and Leo Rush is 60 frames per second.
Oh my god, He was so quick, but he got eliminated pretty quickly by Matt Hardy. But Private Party gets eliminated later, and then the final 3 is Matt Hardy, Christian, and Jungle Boy. And Matt Hardy originally goes to Christian, and he's like, our history, we can do this, we got history together, let's take out Jungle Boy. Christian's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. And then as soon as Matt Hardy turns his back, Christian throws him out. So that's starting a feud between Matt Hardy and Christian, because Matt Hardy did a promo about that later. Jungle Boy.
Man.
This kid, I have never seen. Oh my god. So all right, we talk about how Leo Rush is
60 frames per second.
60 frames per second. Jungle Boy could be a next up contender, because he does these fucking maneuvers, getting thrown out of the ring, grabbing onto the ring post, flinging himself over, flinging himself around the ring post, and then coming up the other side, which someone was noting is absolutely a Tarzan move to do. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I saw on Reddit, because we spend a lot of time on Reddit, that someone shared a tweet by Christian Cage from when Luke Perry passed away. And basically, 90210, the show that Luke Perry was on, was really influential on Christian Cage growing up.
So now flash forward to Christian being in the ring with his son.
And putting over his son and making him look like 1040p.
But yeah, so Christian gets thrown out by Jungle Boy. So Jungle Boy wins. So he's going to get a future title shot against Kenny Omega down the line. And Christian just comes back in and he's like, you win that belt, you win that, and like, you proved me right. And they like embraced at the end, and it was like,
oh, that was.
And then Marco and Luchasaurus came out, and oh my god,
we love a happy ending.
Oh, wrestling.
What's next?
A Go-Go versus Rhodes. We're Canadian. This whole match is built around America versus Britain.
So, Canada is part of the Commonwealth. Technically, the UK owns us. We are supposed to worship the Queen.
Technically.
We don't really do any of that.
Nope.
This whole thing has just been so cringeworthy.
So, I want to mention this because there was a tweet that a Go-Go put out like 2 weeks ago, and he's been on Twitter for the past like month shit talking American people and things that American people do. It's
a lot of like, why do you guys have guns and shoot children? And people are just like, because the government sucks. Like,
but this one tweet, he's like, I found out that I'm not gonna. No,
you're not even gonna try.
No, it's extremely.
I do an incredibly offensive Anthony Ogogo impression, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm learning my lesson. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was like, so I found out that kids in America don't play something called Conkers. They play I forget the actual name.
Like Tiddlywinks or something.
It was something weird. Like this, apparently it's like a schoolyard game where you have nuts and you like wrap rope around the nuts, and then you like hit them back and forth at each. If it sounds like I have no idea what this game is.
It sounds like something that like kids played during the Great Depression is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm reading this and I'm like, what the fuck is Go-Go talking about?
It's like, dude, you're like fucking our age. You grew up with Pokemon cards and shit. Like, don't even try to be like that.
But like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I am so lost in. We have no bearing in this. We're supposed to have bearing in this because we're supposed to be foreign heels, but we're supposed to be on the side of the foreign heel. But like, this was also on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So this was just an excuse for America to be
America.
Yay!
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. We're American. I'm the American guy. And it goes like, I'm the British guy.
Honestly, like,
this was probably the worst.
They bladed the wrong fucking eye on a Go-Go.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, did you notice that right away?
Didn't they blade like the bad eye?
No, they bladed the good eye.
Oh, so he was like blind.
Yeah!
So a Go-Go has one bad eye that he has like 10% vision from.
Something like that.
Was it this one or this one?
His left eye.
His left, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they bladed his right eye. So the man, like...
couldn't see.
Yeah.
And he went like 10 minutes. What should have happened was a Go-Go should have... Cody should have came out as Apollo Creed, made a show of it, danced about, and then should have been like, come on, champ, put your hands up, champ. And then Go-Go was just like, I must break you. You'll lose. Rocky IV. Before Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed because...
Your Ivan Drago sounds like Vinesauce's Duke Nukem.
You lose.
My name's Duke.
Point is, Ogogo should have fucking murdered Cody, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice what Cody was wearing?
It looked cringy and American.
So, people have been comparing what Cody was wearing, the blue, red, and white thing, to, what's that guy's name from The Boys? Peacemaker, I think?
I don't know what The Boys is.
Let me look this up. Talk about how you didn't like this match.
I'm gonna go pee instead.
I am looking up a picture of this guy. I think his name is Peacemaker. Homelander. Okay. I'll show you an image. Just to give you guys an idea. That's Homelander. I'm going to show it to Eden when Eden gets back. So, Cody had this outfit that looked like it was inspired by Homelander from The Boys. It's an Amazon Prime show that's coming out. This is what Homelander looks like. Okay? He looks like a douche. Homelander is meant to be a parody of American nationalism and like Superman and very macho guys. He's a dick. This guy is actually like the biggest villain on the show because he's incredibly insecure and he's a monster. And this is the guy that Cody was looking like on Double or Nothing.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
In my opinion, that looks like an SS uniform.
Yeah, it does. So, this was probably the only bad thing about the show, which honestly,
it's Cody.
In the long run, it doesn't have to do with any of the titles. So at least that's good.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks for a go-go, but
no.
It's fucking Memorial Day weekend.
I mean, to be fair, he's only there for American money.
Please don't.
you gotta talk like you got like a mouthful of gravel.
More cocaine. Gotta do the more cocaine. Okay, let's not do that anymore. Lance Archer versus Miro for the TNT Championship. Also known as, let's beat the shit out of Jake the Snake Roberts and his snake. Oh my god. So...
Can Jake Roberts not be in the ring? Like, you're old!
So, this is like a hoss match. Two big meaty boys going back and forth, throwing everything they can at each other. And then, at the height of the match, Jake the Snake comes out.
It was his birthday that day, by the way.
Yeah. What's his birthday present? Getting the shit kicked out of him by Miro. And he had his snake bag with him. So he attempted to open it up. Miro stopped him first. Picked up the snake bag, shook it around, and then tossed it down the what's it called?
Ramp?
Down the ramp.
Man, that snake's like 40 years old. It probably had an aneurysm.
I was gonna say, I hope to God the real snake was not in there.
No, a real snake could not have been in there.
Yeah. So when you know that, it doesn't look as bad, but my fucking God, that surprised me. I was like, oh my god, Miro, you fucking you sadist.
I like Lance Archer because he puts peanut butter on everything.
Yeah. That's a story for a different time.
Just follow Lance Archer on Instagram, like,
essentially. And
just make sure you watch whenever he does an Instagram live.
Okay, and then so Lance, he was put in the game over, whatever the lock is that that Miro uses. He didn't tap out, he passed out. So Miro won, he retained. After that, Shida versus Britt Baker. This was counters on counters on counters. My gosh. I feel like they want to try and turn Britt Baker face. I'm not exactly sure. But this match was all about a passing of the torch from Shida to Baker, because
Shida came out crying.
Yeah, she was.
She's been the pandemic champ the whole time. title defense she's had has not had a crowd.
Yeah.
So
this was like the first time she was like able to fight in front of a crowd. This is what she wanted to do. And it was like a passing of the championship on to Britt Baker, who she's deserved it.
She's been working so hard.
Yeah. It kind of sucks for Shida, but like Shida's not gonna stay down for long.
No.
She's gonna do awesome things in the company. But yeah, Britt Baker definitely deserved the championship. It was the right move that she won.
Yeah.
The light. Oh, we gotta charge that light because the ring light just went out.
Fun.
And we'll finish up here,
Yeah.
and then we'll. Okay, so after Britt Baker won, Tony Schiavone walked down and gave her a big hug, which someone mentioned that's like the first time they've ever had like a heel character and a face character like hugging and being like supportive of each other, which like you never see. There's always like battle lines between heels and faces.
Yeah.
But like, I guess maybe the Young Bucks and Kenny like before Young Bucks turned, but like. But
they've also been teasing Young Bucks turn for like a year, so.
Yeah. Like Britt and Tony have been friends like the whole time because Tony was helping her work on her heel character. So there's like a real friendship there. So it was really nice to see.
Yeah.
Darby and Sting versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
That was a cool down match.
It was a cool down match for us. But my God, Sting can still move. I was still watching. I still had my eyes open.
I spent like 20 minutes upstairs smoking from my vape, so I don't know what happened at that match.
Sting still has it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, that's good.
Then we had Kenny Omega and Pac and Orange Cassidy for the AEW title.
That was fun.
So, okay. Kenny has found new ways to become a heel, even more of a bigger heel. So much so that there's that last bit where Kenny is like coming in to break up. Pac had a submission hold on Orange Cassidy. He comes in and he goes to like strike Pac, and Pac doesn't let go and he just stares at him.
Because he's a fucking bastard!
And then Kenny starts freaking out. He's like, oh no, he's gonna win. He turns and he knocks out the ref, just like right in front of them.
Poor Bryce.
And Pac is just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So Kenny just beats the shit out of Pac through proxy of his titles. One after the other, just starts wailing Pac with each one of his titles.
Impact, AAA, TNA, and then AEW.
4 different titles. Technically 3, but 4.
Yeah.
4 belts. But yeah, Kenny still won.
Yeah, Orange looked really good in that match.
Orange did look really good. There were some moments where he looked like he was going to win, and the crowd went crazy.
It's so cool seeing this comedy wrestler like doing main events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hate the amount of flack that comedy wrestling gets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when wrestling kind of came out of the carnival setting.
Yeah, wrestling is a sideshow, like.
Yeah. And then finally, Stadium Stampede. So.
Can I tell you the thing I noticed in Stadium Stampede?
What's that?
I don't know if other people are talking about it online, but the FTR and Proud and Powerful section, when they're in that club, there's a part right before they go into the elevator, you see the whole crew. Yeah, you see the whole production crew.
Of course.
Yeah, like not in the shadows, you fully see production crew people.
So
I didn't want to point that out while we were watching.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to distract you from watching the match, but.
So with Stadium Stampede, I've heard a lot of different opinions about it, and I think I will mention Brian Alvarez's explanation for it.
Did he get angry at it?
No.
Okay.
He had mentioned that like this whole match was kind of like a summary of like the start of the pandemic era till now. Because with pandemic era, they had to do a lot more cinematic matches to kind of compensate. So the first half of this match was taking place on the Titantron, or the screen. So it was kind of like the same like old stuff, like pandemic era, like wrestling and stuff. And then they, for the final act, because they're going through the whole stadium, beating the crap out of each other in different locations. The really cool, I actually really loved the Sammy and Sean Spears section, where they're surrounded by chairs.
Okay.
And then, like, Sammy parkours off chairs and shit.
So, when I was hearing the smack of the chairs, I was just thinking how, like, the smack of the chairs could make, like, a perfect, like, really cool choreography, like, between Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara, but obviously it wasn't, like, super choreographed that way.
But, like, Sammy was, like, parkouring all over the fucking place.
But it could have been, like, with the way the chairs were smacking, like, it could have been, like, art, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Derivative.
Honestly, you just have to see the shot that we're talking about, like the location, because there's like a light fixture on them too, so it's like
conditioning the air.
I don't even know what that
I'll go Globogian.
little lower, babe.
Okay,
all right,
fuck you.
Some highlights from this match that happened.
Those are really badly made fake pigs.
What?
The Wardlow and Hager.
Oh, those ones.
Those fake pigs.
Where they both almost locked each other in a meat freezer. Multiple times.
The shiv was funny.
The ice pick.
Yeah, it was a shiv.
Yeah, they called it an ice pick though. Santana and Ortiz versus FTR. They're fighting in a nightclub, which is populated with a bunch of different wrestlers.
There's Baron Black.
Baron Black was there.
That's the only one I noticed.
The DJ was Conan, which is LAX vibes. So, Sammy and Sean Spears duking it out in like loading docks area. Chris Jericho and MJF going up to the office areas. Going through like a Jaguars meeting room with two of the coaches.
Bortles!
Yeah, and they're just throwing Jericho like footballs to like throw at MJF.
There's like a cardboard cutout of Shad Khan.
Oh my god, that was the funniest thing. So imagine that Eden is the cardboard cutout. So Chris Jericho smacks the cardboard cutout into MJF. He stands it back up, and then he does this. And then walks back, like fixing up paper Shad Khan's hair, and then just walking off to go after MJF. The finality of this match, though, was with Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara, as the two of them started going back to the arena. And then this was the moment where Sean Spears is running back to the main like ring where the whole crowd is, and then Sammy gets in a golf cart and chases him down, and that's like a year of that's a year of chases that Sammy's been building up, and he's finally getting his revenge. The two brawl back into the ring, and then the match kind of like gets to its final crescendo, and Sammy pins Sean Spears in the middle of the ring to a huge pop. Sammy is so fucking over. Like, this group of Inner Circle has really helped to elevate Sammy. Like, especially with there's an ending, so Inner Circle win, I'll say that.
Obviously, you just said Sammy Guevara pinned Sean Spears.
Yeah, so Inner Circle wins, which I was not expecting.
Yeah.
I thought Pinnacle was going to win.
Same.
Like everyone was thinking, especially with the celebration the other night. But they end with them playing Judas, the whole crowd singing Judas with fireworks and stuff going on behind them, and it's like a feel good ending, a feel good show overall. Mostly face wins. Yeah,
I really don't care about the Inner Circle. However, I like Sammy Guevara.
Everyone loves Sammy.
Funny
Guevara.
Man. He's been eating pins for he's been eating pins like the whole time for Inner Circle. So seeing him get the pin was so good.
So what's actually really nice about that is that like Sammy was getting so much more like cheers over pretty much everyone else in Inner Circle. And then there was a closing after the pay-per-view was over. It was Inner Circle in front of the live crowd, and there was a fan cam that caught Jericho's kind of like final speech to the crowd. And like Jericho kind of like gave the floor to Sammy to like give like the final last words. And like Sammy, like before he did that, he like jumped out of the ring. Like you see him go off screen and everyone starts cheering and then he comes back in. So you didn't see what happens on the fan cam. But then I checked Instagram later and there's a picture of Pam in the front row. And Sammy and Pam just kiss each other in the front row. And everyone's like, oh, that's so...
Oh, that's so good.
So good. So...
Pam's great.
Yeah. But yeah, like Sammy got the final word, essentially closed the show. And yeah, that was essentially all of the major stuff that we saw for wrestling in like this month of May. If we do decide to watch like an episode or two of like Ring of Honor or Impact... something like other than AEW, I'll add it to the next month. If we decide to do it for next month, I might take a break for June just to see how this video does. And then if it does really good, we can do another one for July. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You got any final words for this month of wrestling? Nice. See you guys.